phone for my audio, and I'm joining from this phone for my video because I realized this one had some trouble with its microphone. All right, so you're in week 7. That's exciting. Um, First, I want to hear about how was your week. We all worked with customer journeys, and we looked at how we can actually, well, how we can actually create our customer's journey through the day. So I'm very excited to know if you have any new thoughts, if you feel like you had any breakthroughs through the week. So I'm going to just ask you one by one to talk. All right, great. Emily, tell me about your week. Tell me about if you've had any new thoughts about the idea.
Well, my week was quite okay, not doing much, just basically packing all my stuff for the vacation I'm going on. And I don't really have any new ideas yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are you
Where are
going
you
to?
going to vacation?
I'm going to Italy.
Wow, that is so cool. Okay. And
Where?
how long is this?
Where are you going?
I'm staying in the Toscana.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
How far is that for you, Christian?
From me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in the southern part of Italy and Toscana is in the north. I don't know exactly.
Okay. All right. I see more faces, more actually more names than faces. Christian, why don't you go ahead? So, guys, everybody who joined us just now, we're doing a check-in and we're talking about one exciting thing about our week and if we've had any new breakthroughs regarding our idea. So, Christian, go.
Okay, so my week was okay. I have done. I I mean, a good thing about my week was the development of my idea and the new thoughts about the ways of creating it, concretizing it.
Okay. Avocado. See if this works. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good. It works. Okay. Lovely. Thank you for sharing that. Dominion, would you like to tell us how your week was and if you've had any exciting thoughts, any new revelations from all the lovely interviews you guys have been hosting since our last call? I can see you're unmute, but I can't hear you, Dominion. Can anybody else hear Dominion?
No.
Um, okay, try putting that in chat if that helps. And also try fixing the microphone because in another 5 minutes, we're going to get into a very exciting exercise. Rahul, what's up with you?
Nikita, I just joined. I didn't remember the question. What you read? Can you just repeat once?
It's just how's your week been? Like what's been the exciting highlight of the week? And have you had any new thoughts about your idea, any new sort of insights while interviewing others, anything new that you've discovered about it?
Uh, this week wasn't that great, was it? It was like the least productive week I've had in, I don't know, ages. I played a lot of games, then watched football matches. I didn't do much other than that. But then uh, an idea that sprouted up was like, I don't know, I thought of including this online, I was yeah, and I actually came to a decision about what I want to choose. So I think I go ahead with the app that I was talking about. So uh, uh, So an idea that I just came across was, I don't know, include some sort of an online scouting service through the app that'll help connect, coaches and players from different regions. So because right now I've seen a lot of people who aspire to become sportsmen, but then they don't really get that connection with a lot of coaches or institutions. So if I can figure out a way to make that accessible and add it to my app, it'd be great. Yeah.
I'm so excited that you decided to go with that idea. Um, Good choice. I was secretly hoping you would. And I'm sure we're going to make a brilliant prototype out of it. Okay, so today's entire session is about prototyping. I want that by the end of today's session, when you walk out of here, you actually have the first version of your idea with you. So that next week you're ready to sort of host live sessions or go out and give that prototype to your friends so that they can use it and give you customer feedback, right? But before we get into that, I do want to hear from the rest of the people who've joined us as well. So, Aman, what's your week been like?
So the highlight was my gym opened, so that was the highlight of the week for me. And this weekend of Euros has been the football tournament has been like very exciting. Uh, so a breakthrough in my idea would be the help that I got from you. Like um, I was lost kind of before that, but like you kind of helped me with making things clear and setting a direction to it. So yeah.
Thank you. I'm completely blushing over here. Um, but that's honestly what my job is. And I see that all of you have so many questions for me on Discord, and I thought instead of answering them on text today, at the end we'll have like 10 minutes, or next class we start with those questions, and you can fire away, and I'll answer whatever doubts you have about me and what I do and why I do it. Cool. Nerita, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So, um, I didn't have anything interesting this week. All I had were exams, and I was, pretty stressed out. And I also didn't get the chance to interview more people, but one idea that I got that I can include in my prototype is that, I thought of including people's hobbies and interests in the therapy lessons that they can avail at our platform regarding mental health. So I was planning on that. That's it. Nikita, you're mute.
Sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize. Sorry. All right, cool. Felix, you're up next.
Hello, can you hear me? Am I loud enough? Okay. My week was pretty boring, to be honest. I didn't have a lot on. I spent the weekend in London visiting my brother. All COVID safe, of course. And then when I got back, I started working on a business plan for my phytoplankton shebang. Then I actually managed to find a couple food scientists through the School of Future All Things Teen Discord. And then I think my dad might have one more contact, which is hopeful.
I'm so excited to hear that. And this is something all of you should try, okay? Like you will have to definitely try it next week when you all give live sessions. But All Things Teen is one of the most fun channels we have on School of Future. And you can also, so Felix was looking for food scientists, and I honestly didn't know any. So while I was looking within my network, I told him just put up the requirement in All Things Teen, and somebody's brother or somebody's uncle or somebody could definitely like help you out. And that's a channel where you have all SOF alumni, you have, and it's not just limited to SOFers, like we're also sort of bringing in, it's all things team. It's basically SOFers, their friends, their families, and therefore the only requirement is that you have to be a teenager to be in that group. And it's a lovely networking space. So if you haven't joined it already, you definitely should. All right, cool. We are down to our last person, Sangamitra. How has your week?
Can you hear me? Okay. So my grandfather had a brain stroke, so it was just hospital for us. And then yesterday I went shopping and got him a TV, if that counts. That's fun.
I am so sorry to hear that. Is he doing better?
Yeah, he needs speech therapy because he cannot talk, but he's like moving okay right now.
Okay. I do hope he recovers soon. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. Like I love the sort of width of topics we cover and the level of trust we build, that we're really open and vulnerable with each other, and I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sangamitra. Okay, cool. So I'm now going to jump into today's task. Okay. Do you all have pens and papers with you? If you don't, just go run and get some. And just put up a thumbs up so I know that it's a yes or a no, because I can't see any. All right. Okay, I have 4 thumbs up. Waiting for 4 more. Cool, that's 5, 6, 7. All right, great. So the task that you do is you take your paper and sort of, this one's already filled, okay, so don't copy from this, but just divide it into 4 bits, okay? So you have morning, afternoon, evening, and night, all right? So there are 4 squares. You basically just divide the page like that, and you write morning in the first square, afternoon in the second, evening in the third, and night in the fourth. All right. And now what I want you to do is I'm gonna keep the timing for a minute, and I want you to actually draw things that you do in these 4 sort of time zones of the day, right? So what are the things that you do, and draw them. So if you wake up and brush, just draw a brush with paste on it. If you watch TV in the evening, just draw a laptop or whatever you consume your sort of content on. So hi Rania, I'm just going to quickly run you through what we're doing. We all have a pen and paper, and we're dividing it into like morning. Sorry, that's the evening. I don't even know how this is. All right, yeah, okay. Morning, afternoon, evening, and night. And we are drawing what our day looks like in these 4 time zones. So it's okay. You don't have to be a perfectionist. Just draw symbols that showcase what are the things that you're doing. If it helps you at all, I can actually pull out something that other kids have done from Discord and share it with you. But take 2 minutes and just sort of fill in these 4 blocks with things that you do during those times. All right?
We must draw, we cannot write. I must.
Yes, we must draw. Yes, because I believe all of you can draw, and therefore
I
I'm just going
cannot.
to tell you, you must.
I'm bad at drawing.
Everybody can. Have you heard this thing called ABCD, which means anybody can dance? I believe it stands for anybody can draw as well. So just like
I can draw, but
without
it's
thinking, get out there.
not
Oh, it's okay. It doesn't have to be good. Don't worry. It doesn't have to be good at all. So I'm going to just share screen and show you something that somebody from another cohort had done. That helps. Yeah, do you see that?
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be like elaborate, beautiful drawings. Just has to be something fun, like something that clears to you what it is that you're looking at. All right, cool. Um, your 2 minutes are about to get over. Um, some things that you can think of is, where are you first thing in the morning? When are you eating? When are you using the bathroom? When are you moving? Which is like, what time are you traveling in a car, if at all? So these are the kind of questions that you can think of while you're filling in those 4 things. Now, time's up. Is think of the top 5 apps.
Nikita,
Yes.
like when we were supposed to draw, suddenly my pen's ink, it got worse. I had to go run and get another one. But did you say anything in between that?
No, I was just giving prompts. So like when you're drawing these things, think of things like, when are you what are you doing first thing in the morning? When are you eating? When are you using the bathroom? When are you traveling? When are you consuming content? On what are you consuming content? So that's what, like, nothing too great, just about filling those blocks. Now,
Okay.
this is the second part of the exercise. Think about the top 5 apps or the top 5 services that you use every day. So it could be Spotify, Netflix, Insta. Those are like app examples. But also you could think of, in terms of services, you could think of like McDonald's, KFC. Um, I don't know. I don't know what other services teens use these days. But oh yeah, it could be a parlor if girls are do use that, but fairly on a regular basis, right? So think about the top 5 apps or services that you use on a daily basis. And what helps, like when I shared Nada's photograph also, she had made a sort of key in the bottom. Like, for Netflix, it's a big N. For Spotify, it's that weird logo they have. For McDonald's, it's MCD. So give all these things. You can either use the direct logo or you can make a key so that you remember what this stands for. All right. Now that okay, you will all have to give me thumbs up to tell me if you've reached this state. So is everybody done with filling the 4 squares? Just put a thumbs up and I will know.
I am not getting you well. So you say that we need to find 5 apps that we use every day, and then
Just no. So imagine that's my 4 squares, right? Just
yeah,
on the side, write down what are the 5 apps. What I basically want you to do is I want you to figure out what time of the day do you use which app the most. So right now, through this exercise, we are plotting your journey as a customer for these apps. And in the next step, we'll reverse it and we will start plotting your customer's journey while they use your app. Cool?
okay.
So when you've thought of these 5 apps, just put them in these 4 boxes about when do you use it, where.
What if we use the thing like throughout the day though?
Observe when is it most.
Okay.
Like, why do you, the main question is, why do you turn to this app? Right?
Okay.
Like, because you need to also figure that out for your customer as to why should they come to your app. So think about is it boredom? Is it information? Like, I think I use Google throughout the day, but it's mostly for information and not really boredom.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so take another minute. and fill that in while I fill in your attendance. All right, whenever you're done, just put a thumbs up and I will know that you're done. Okay, now if you're done, I want you to take a photograph of this customer journey and put it up on your Discord zones. Okay, I'm going to give you like a minute to do this. Just take a photograph of it and put it up on your zone on Discord so that everybody can see it. Also, the reason we keep doing this, like we keep putting things up on Discord, is because for your final expo, I want everything to be in one place, and I don't want you to be running around like headless chicken looking for your logo or your customer journey or whatever it is, right? Don't worry if it's not pretty, it's perfectly fine.
The
Just
photo
take
of the 5 apps.
Sorry, what?
The photo of the 5 apps.
Yeah, the photo of this sort of box and then put it up on your
I didn't finish.
Discord. Sangamitra is asking, can I do that after the session? I only have my computer right now and I don't know how to click a picture with it. Yes, of course you can do it after the session. Don't worry about that. Great. So, like I was telling you, what you just did is your customer journey, where you're basically a consumer consuming a product. And this was to look at what is your behavior in reference to the product. Now, I'm going to break you out into breakout rooms. And what I want you to map out in the same fashion is the customer journey of McDonald's, right? So there are a couple of questions that I do want you to answer. I want you to, and I'm going to put those questions up in the chat so that, firstly, has everybody been to McDonald's? Because otherwise we'll just take another example.
I did once.
Once? Okay. Okay. That's tough one.
Nikita, do we post this on our like our respective zones, right? That's where we post this. Okay.
Yeah. Put it on your zones because if you have everything on your zone, it just becomes so much easier to sort of keep track of it. Hi, Zeba. Hey, Aditya. Thank you for joining us. What we're doing today is that we are looking at customer journeys. And by the end of this session, I want all of us to have made one prototype, right? So now I'm going to break you guys out into breakout rooms. And I've put like a list of 4 questions. And I want you to think about McDonald's as a group when you're answering these 4 questions. So the questions are your first thought when you think about McDonald's. What might they, why do you crave for it, right? Also important, think about their marketing strategies. What do they do to make you crave McD? And I'm going to give you a hint. McD's biggest strategy is that it creates memories in your childhood that people go along and keep returning to even when they are in adulthood. So for example, when you look at their mascot, or when you look at the way they do birthday celebration, or the way each McDonald's outlet has a big sort of play area. That was the first thing that McD started. I know now it's become like really in fashion, but McD was the first one to come up with that idea about having a playground for children within the restaurant space.
But
Because that,
I don't know much about McDonald's. I go there years ago one time, so I don't know much.
do you have a favorite food joint?
No.
Oh, okay. But let's still break out and think about food. Like if your favorite food joint, what do they do to keep you coming back? Okay. Are there any more doubts apart from the one that I can understand because Christian's never been to McD, but any other things?
It must be a food chain, right?
It must be a
Food chain, a food fast food.
yeah.
Okay.
Like it helps if it's a fast food chain. All right. You
Okay.
guys have 5 minutes. Just copy the questions from the chat room, and I'm going to now break you out into breakout rooms. Cool. All right. There you go. Oh no, I meant open rooms. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Siba, Sangamitra, if you're here, please join your rooms. You're in room number 2. Sorry, what?
Claudia said, "I again."
Are you speaking to me in Italian, Christian?
I said, "I again." I.
Oh, oh my God, that was so fast. I thought, wow, that's like learning a new language skill. Okay, great.
Ciao, parliamo italiano. Che fate?
Okay, so I want one. Actually, you know what? We should do this. We should teach each other how to say hi in our language, like our mother tongues. Um, okay, somewhere in the midst of this very heavy session, we fix that. Present. Group number 2 was
Me, Amanda.
Zeba. Yes.
So the first what okay, me and Aman don't like McDonald's, only Ziba did, so it was a bit difficult, but okay. What made practically only Ziba like McDonald's is that it's fast, it's affordable, it's an occasion to eat and also having encounters with family and friends. Also, the menu is not monotone. It's not one list of. There is difference in variety in things. The emotions that we feel are happy, calm. Also, the feeling about having decisions to choose what to order. Um, Worrying about nothing if not the fact that McDonald's would give us things that we don't like ketchup. A deciding factor that makes us decide at McDonald's is if a thing is new because we don't like the usual things, we want to try new things. So if a thing is new, we can try it. So that is a factor that make us decide. And after you finish the meal, after we finish our meal, we could go back to it because McDonald's are everywhere, so it's close to us, and it's a place also to meet people because there are different people. But I would not personally go there because I just don't like it. So that's it.
Cool, 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 cool. All right, thank you. And room number 3. Okay, no, that was Ronya, Nerita, and Dominion. Do you guys want to share?
Yeah, okay. Um, so our first thoughts about McDonald's was usually, how popular it is and how affordable it is. And the second thing is that it's also very tasty. Emotions that we feel when we order McD, it's usually, nostalgic, happy, a bit guilty because it's also unhealthy for your health. I mean, yeah, of course, unhealthy. And the deciding factor is that we discussed that how it is the brand name that attracts the people, and it's definitely tasty. And another thing is like it offer in my area, in my country, they offer vegetarian options. So whenever we are craving for something that's vegetarian, then we can definitely go to McD and have a nice vegetarian burger. And we were unable to decide, discuss upon the fourth question because we didn't get the time. And Ronya and Dominion, if you want to add up anything, you can, because I may have missed out something from the answers you gave me.
Yeah, I want to say something that for question 2, where it was talking about the emotions attached, like emotions you feel when you order the food. I said that for me, that there's some form of like fear or anxiety because I don't want to mess up my order. And like there's so much choice that it's hard for me to choose an option. So that's like one of the emotions that I attach when ordering from McDonald's. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Dominion. And I think it's interesting. It's interesting to know that sometimes options can limit you. And therefore, you have to sort of think about, when you think about your own product, you have to think about how much free will and how much limitation do you want. I figured that I've been going on rambling without really, while being on mute. I was saying, firstly, Dominion, thank you for sharing that because it's really interesting to know that when you have options, it can sometimes actually limit you. And that's a very, very important observation. So from the first part of this exercise, we're going to move into the second part. I've given you 4 questions to think about in the chat box. Now you were treating yourself like the customer and thinking of services and of other actual products that you consume. Now I want you to switch the role. Come on the side of being the person who's providing the service or the product and think about what you want your consumer to keep coming back for. So the couple of questions that I think help in this is what you want your customers' first thought to be when they think about your product. This week, the people I had calls with, we discussed about how their favorite app, and for majority of you, your favorite app was Instagram. So with Instagram, why do you keep going back to it? What is that one feature that you open Instagram and go to? Is it the private DM? Is it the stories? Is it new recommendations that they give you? What is it about Insta that surely keeps pulling you back? And similarly, how could you leverage that in your own service or product, right? So these questions are going to be there, but before you jump into those questions, I want to quickly take you through certain practices that I think will help. All right, I'm going to share screen now. a really long slide and I do want to sort of run with it because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. Okay, great. So why do we prototype? Because there's an entrepreneur called Reshma once said, fail fast, fail hard, and fail often, so that the product that you make comes out of the failure and is therefore more perfect. When we think of prototyping, right now what we did was go through the customer journey, right? So we drew out the 4-5 steps of what your customer goes through. And by the end of today's class, we will put these steps and these drawings into an app and create our first version. But for each of you, I want to think in the next coming slides, I'm going to introduce many different methods and many different tools that you can use. So some of you are thinking of apps, while others are thinking of websites. Still others are thinking of actual services in that can be implemented on ground and may not need an app or a website. And they are all perfectly fine. But the common things between those is that you still have to think about your customer journey, right? And that's what today is going to be about. So as I said, think about why your customer needs to keep coming back. How do you build a community for your customer? And how do you make it special for them? So how do you customize their experience with whatever product or service that you're thinking of? In the coming week, I want you to actually go out and whatever we create today, we will test it out on friends, families, and strangers. So we can host a live session. I can give you login IDs to our Zoom thing so that you don't have a limit to your session, but you have to invite friends, you have to do the actual marketing for the live session and get people to come and test your idea out, or at least hear you out so that they can give you feedback as well. If it's a product, so for example, Felix is thinking of a sort of actual sauce. The next 2 weeks is the time to make the first version of that sauce and get it out so that people can start tasting it and giving you feedback. And also thinking about like what's the best way to actually market this? Is it something that gets spoiled too quick? Is it something that will stay for longer? Is a sauce the right way? Or maybe making a powder out of it, like you get onion powder and garlic powder, and those things can stay for long. They don't spoil easy. So what is the best way to actually make your idea profitable, right? Perfect. So this is the first thing that you can do. As I said, in your cohort, I don't think anybody's thinking much in these lines, but for example, oh, actually, I think someone is. So I'm so sorry. I've gotten so confused with all your ideas. I'm just going to say that one of you had an idea about, I think this is either Rahul Aditya or either Rahul or Aditya, who had the idea for hunger. Like hunger was the main problem that they had identified. And
That was me.
I'm looking at the slide. You have to tell me who me is. Rahul or
Aman.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Right. So the best way to prototype your idea would be either that you hold a live session where you invite all of, like we put out the invite to all the Sofas community, to your friends, your family members, get them all in one room on Zoom and tell them that, hey, this is what I'm thinking of. Because I feel like there's a gap between people who have food and may have excess food and the people who don't have food at all. And I basically want to build a platform which bridges this gap. So the excess food goes from the people who have it to the people who need it, and anybody who wants to, either donate grains on a monthly basis, can sign up to the website, look at the database that we have, and send that grain within their city to the people who need it. And you can also think of opening this website out to let people keep adding to that database, right? So let's say you're in Bangalore, but in Delhi, or for that matter, in the UK, you have cohort members who are from the UK, Italy, UAE, all over the world. And if they can find people who either have excess of food or who are in the need of food, they can keep adding to your database. So if I'm somebody who's sitting in the UK, I can go to your website and see, oh, there's this person here who needs food and I have this extra food. If we're in the same locality, why don't I just try to set this up and get this grain to that person's house? So basically a live session just to explain what your idea is could be your first prototype idea. The second prototype idea is customer pairing. So in this, again, we generally use people that we know. So either people we've gathered from our cohorts, our friend networks, or our family networks, and we conduct activities by pairing these customers up to really study their behavior. And through their behavior, we generally figure out, okay, what is the best way to do what I'm trying to do, right? Um, for example, there was Katharina who created a scavenger hunt for her customers, and the scavenger hunt made her, gave her a lot of tips to improve the idea that she was working with. Okay. Similarly, if someone's working with LGBTQIA awareness, getting customers lets you know, because as people who are passionate about LGBTQIA society, we know a lot of things and we assume that others know it too. But often people don't know about it, right? So customer pairing helps you realize what is the actual information that is required to be given out there. Right. Explainer videos are the simplest. I think in your batch, if anybody's having trouble, they can go to Felix and try it, because these are basically, you either create animated videos or you create short videos of yourself, much like Reels and Insta stories, where you're explaining what the product is, why you're doing it, and how the so I can quickly share this. It's a short video. Do you see it? Right. So, okay, yeah. Um, okay, so you saw that, right? And that is just one way of, one second, pictures, I'm just going to share and meet her in and then continue. Hey Jean, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just taking people through our right. Okay, I'm going to share screen again. Do you guys have any questions now?
Nikita, your voice is pretty bad. It's breaking.
Oh, damn. Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, now it's better.
Is okay, so let me put this on and then is this better?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I figured a way out, by the way. I figured if my video is on one screen and audio in another, then that actually helps. All right, cool. Any questions on prototyping till now?
No.
Okay, great.
I have a question.
Yes, Christian, go ahead.
For example, if I wanted to do a live session or but it is about any type of prototyping issues, how do we find customers that want to try?
Right. So what we generally do is, let's say you decide to have your prototyping session next Thursday, right? So then 4 days before your session, ideally 5 days, I would ask you to make up a poster about what is the session, what's it about, what time is it, and then we will float the poster in the SOAF community. As I said, all things teen, along with all things teen. You know how we keep sending you out, like even on Discord, you'll see that we keep sending out invites to stakeholder sessions and other live sessions. Those are all other students doing the same thing. So all the cohorts that are currently there and all the alumni network that we have in SOAF, this will go out to everyone. Whoever's interested will sign up for it. And then we'll also ask you to circulate it in your friends network. So if any of your friends or family is interested, you can ask your cohort members to spread it out to their friends and families. So generally in a session, we end up getting like from 10 to 12 people like that's the minimum that we generally get. And it helps you, at least one live session helps you understand what people want. So the live session is almost like it's a stakeholder session, but it's also a pre-expo like exposure session, because you get to tell these people what is your idea, and if any of them are interested, you get to sign them up. So for example, I knew somebody from my earlier cohort is working with fashion design, and she wants to see how many people are interested in upcycle clothing. So like secondhand clothing, but if it was redone properly. And so she held a live session, asked people how many of you would be interested. And then she saw that this idea works for something like India, because most of the Indian people still said yes, but somewhere like in
Still
Europe
what?
or US,
I didn't
sorry.
hear. Still what?
She wanted to as in good clothes that you have. She wanted to see if it was possible to, how many people would be interested in buying used clothes.
Okay.
Yeah. So she realized that that's something that could work in India, but for a larger global crowd, it's not such a great idea. So it gives you great insights into what you're working with. Does that answer your question?
Yes, but you said the reason why that area wouldn't work in India, but I didn't hear it. Can you repeat it?
The reason why her idea works in India and not anywhere else.
I have problems hearing you. Why didn't this idea work in India?
It worked only in India. It didn't work anywhere else. Like, because in India, I think we are used to getting clothes from our cousins and brothers and sisters and wearing used clothes. But it's a cultural idea that is not followed, let's say, in Europe or US. And therefore, it wouldn't work there, but it works for India.
Okay.
So for this live session, like, what are the groups of people that we should involve in it?
As I said, whenever you host a live session, it will go out to the SOFAs community as it is. We ask you to invite your friends and your family, and also like spread it to your cohort members so that they can invite their friends and their families. That's
Okay.
generally it's for people who can be your clients. like who can be your customers actually, not clients. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead then. So to make something like what you just saw, the video just that we just saw, there's a tool called the www.tool.com video templates. And this particular one was also made here. It's a free thing. You can use it. There are also many others like this, but it's just one of them. Also, after this session, I will share this deck on Discord because this deck has a lot of tools within it. So whenever you're prototyping, you can go ahead and use that. This slide, the fourth way of prototyping, is something you guys already know. Like you're probably better at it than I am, which is social media. When I was young, which is not really that far back, like let's say 10 to 12 years back, social media marketing was not even a position or a profession. Today, it's one of the most sought after, well paid jobs to be a social media manager. And it takes hell lot more than just creating a post. To be a social media manager, you need to know when are people, what is the best time to leave a post, what is the best genre that the post can be made in, what is the in thing, what do you highlight, how short should the post be. It's a lot of psychological study of the customers that has built social media marketing as a stream of profession. So this has got to do a lot with that. Like, what are your customers buying? Why are they buying you? What are the kind of ads that you make? I don't know if we'll have the time, but that was also part of today's thing that I wanted you all to make a short ad, but one thing at a time. All right, cool. The next thing is building a website. So I know that a lot of you here want to build a website as your final idea, and we are going to do that today. So you can either go to wix.com, strikingly.com, WordPress, or Shopify. So Shopify is, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Shopify is mainly for e-commerce. So if you're trying to sell something online, then Shopify is the way to go. But otherwise, if you're trying to create like an open resource website where basically you just, so for example, I know Marin is not here, but Marin wanted to build a place where he could talk about health and talk about why eating right is important, why exercising is important, and why all body types shouldn't have the same eating habits or the same exercise routines. And for him, then something like Wix should really work, because then you can have different sections. You can have one section where you just have like inspirational videos and articles to do with health. You can have another section where you have a consultant who you can get in touch with. And you have a third section where actually Marin as the influencer is giving live sessions, right? So you can divide your website into 3 sections and curate each of those sections according to what your customer needs.
Are all of these free, like the features that you mentioned
Yeah.
for all these websites?
Yeah. So you know what I do? So let's say on Wix, if you went on Wix, creating a chat room or a forum is easy. It's not really that difficult and it's free. But who was I talking to? Again, I'm so
Aman.
sorry. No. I know who you are. But my last call was with somebody from your cohort, and you have to forgive me because my memory is like mashed potato. But they wanted to build a website, and they wanted to include like a really cool live chat. Oh, something like Clubhouse. They wanted to include something like Clubhouse, a voice channel. And that Wix doesn't allow, not for free. Like you can add a voice channel to Wix, but you have to pay. So there is there's a shortcut to doing that. If on your Wix website, you create a section saying voice channel, and then you embed a Discord server address. Then whoever clicks on that voice channel directly gets routed to the Discord server. And over there, you can have free voice conversations, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
even if the website itself is not giving you, remember what we did last Saturday. You have to think about what are the pre-existing technologies in the market that you can use to your advantage and incorporate with your idea. So if Wix is not giving you free voice call, think about which platform is. Discord is giving you free voice. Just like connect the two. put a Discord channel address on the Wix website. And whoever clicks on that directly gets onto the Discord channel. Make sense?
Yep.
All right, cool. Okay, the next is smartphone sketches. This is something we are going to do today, by the way. So all those drawings that you did of your customers morning, day, afternoon, and evening, we're going to put those up in this app called the marvelapp.com, and we're going to make the first version of what is your app. If you make if the app is what your idea is, what is it going to look like, right? So you create, when I say this, I mean that think about, okay, next time you log on to Instagram, actually log out from it and then press sign in and go and see what's the first page that comes, right? What's the second page? What's the third page? What are the different pages that come up? And that makes the customer journey. All right. Cool. The next is Figma, which is basically it's also like Marvel app only, but it's also a little bit like Canva. So it's a lot of if you're designing for the actual design aspect of it. It has templates, it has cart, like it has different templates that you can use in your app, and there is no coding required. So Figma is also, if you're thinking of an e-commerce website or an e-commerce app, I think Figma would be the way to go. All right. Website forum, again, very similar to Wix, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. As I said, e-commerce is something that if you're planning to sell Felix, you might want to look at e-commerce because, I mean, just in terms of designing, right? Again, this is actually a marketing tool. So if you start flooding Pinterest with photographs or articles or things to do with your product, it just creates a buzz around your product. So more than a prototyping tool, this is a marketing tool where you put in Pinterest, you just put things off related to your product. Similarly, onboarding quiz or this, yes, okay. You can go on Driddle.com and EduFlow, but basically, if you are, the video that we just saw of the person who was trying to deal with the problem of ex-convicts getting a job, one of their prototyping ideas was to host courses and live talks around. So the course was being hosted by ex-convicts themselves about the problems of a convict's life. And the course structure was something that you can look at EduFlow. So for example, how School of Future is designed. When you go on week 1 and you're learning emotional intelligence, you have these 4 mini tasks. The breakdown of what each task looks like, or the breakdown of what each of your contests looks like, is what you will find on Driddle.com and EduFlow. And if your idea is to create awareness, then these are really good resources. Customized needs, this is something you should put into your prototyping. Like for example, if you're working on an app, it's a good idea to let your customer come in, sign up, and then say that, hey, I'm interested in news and politics, art, or health, so that you can personalize that content for them. And the last thing is if you're doing something on ground, like a physical activity, if you want to, like for example, in one of my cohorts, somebody wanted to create actual youth collective on ground. And so I asked them to look at Yogail and Raising Dragons, because these give you really cool ideas of what physical activity you can host. It could be scavenger hunt, it could be like an inspirational session, but it gives you like the format of what these events should look like or can look like. Okay, I'm so tired of talking. Right. How you don't need to worry about all this, about how we will think about, but you do need to know that you are nearly there. You're 1 month away from your expo, and how we will look at your it's like how we will judge your expo is something that we will come to later. All right, so cool. I do not know why my laptop has suddenly stopped working, so I'm just going to join in from my, okay, that didn't go very well. Hi guys, I'm so sorry this is happening, but now what we're going to do is basically, I'm going to ask you all to, oh, actually, you know what, this works best. Okay, I can't even see myself, but what I'm going to ask you to do is you have your pen and paper, right? So take out your pen and paper and divide the paper into 6 columns, just like we did with the first exercise with the 4 columns. Now, the questions that I put up on chat, you're going to create the journey for your customer. So when your customer first opens your app or your website, what is it that they see? What's the opening page? How do they get into it? Like, are you inviting them? Is it exclusive like Clubhouse, or is it open? Or do you only work through recommendations? What is the mode by which you're actually spreading the news of your app or website, right? And then the third one is, once they've signed in, are you giving them the option of linking their account to, let's say, Google, so that they can automatically just go to sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook and get that account made? Or are you asking for details like email ID, name, phone number, address, blah, 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 blah. If you're asking for all that, then make that form. What does that form look like? So for someone who's not doing a website or an app and is thinking of making something on ground, then you need to make a form and you need to know what that form looks like, right? So do that now. It is by my clock, it's 6:40. I'm going to give you guys 20 minutes to create this sort of chain. What I'm going to do is also break you out into breakout rooms so that you can help each other while you're building the customer chain. Once you've built the customer chains, on the chat right now, I will also put up, actually forget the chat, on Discord, I'll put up the deck. So if you want to make a website, then you go to the prototyping of the website and you use those tools. If you want to make an app, then you go to Marvel app or any of the others and you create it. I don't know if you can create it in 20 minutes, but at least in terms of your sketching, it should be done. So you have 6 panels and you need to get those 6 panels clearly laid out. And the task for this week, which you have to complete latest by Tuesday, is the first prototype of your idea. So if it's a website, I want to see the first draft of the website by Tuesday. If it's an app, I want to see the first draft of the app by Tuesday. Does that make sense, guys?
So in 20 minutes, we'll have to create a website.
No, in 20 minutes, you have to draw and tell me what are the things that you want in your website. If website is your idea, then you have to tell me, Nikita, my website will have 3 sections or 4 sections or 5 sections, whatever. And these are the sections that I want. So what helps is that along with sketching it, open it on your on another tab on your laptop. So if you're thinking website, go to Wix. See what Wix already has, because it will give you ideas of how you can either create your own template or pre-use a template, but it will make that idea clearer, right? Similarly, so actually I'll put up the links on chat here and on Discord, but if you're making an app, then just download Marvel app and see the templates that it already has. And if you can, start creating the project. I don't expect you to give it to me in 20 minutes because I want it to be good. I don't want you to hurry with it. That's why I'm giving you time till Tuesday. But the brainstorming of it has to be done in 15, 20 minutes.
What was the 6 panels that you like?
So the first panel is it's your customer's journey. The first panel is basically the first page that your customer sees when they reach your either app or website. The second is, how do they sign up? Is it a form? Are you linking it to Google? What's the technology that goes behind linking it to Google? And if it's a form, then what are the things that you ask on the form? The third is, how do you customize it? What is it that you ask them? Do you ask them about their interests? Do you ask them about their locality? Has to do with your problem idea, right? Like, I'm generalizing it right now, but you have to think in terms of what is your problem idea and make it accordingly. The fourth one is, once the first three panels are basically onboarding. How are you getting them into the app? From the fourth one onwards, how are you curating the app for them? So what does their homepage look like? You know, when you open Insta, what does the home look like? What is the top panel? What is the center panel? What is the bottom panel? The next is, what is your star feature? That's your fifth panel. What's the one feature that will keep your customers coming back? And the last thing is, how do you retain these customers? And this has to, of course, it's connected to the star feature. What is it about this website that will make me open it over and over? Does that help? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Nikita, what about like the name of this thing and the logo and stuff like that?
We're going to do that next week with another very cool content.
But like,
That's
what if, but what if our website's just a tool to, it's just
It is
like
a
a,
resource.
yeah, what if it's like, so the reason they'll come back is because they need to use that tool to get invested. Yeah.
Yeah. So it could also be just an open resource, right? Like, I was giving you Martin's website example. Martin's website is for people who want to get fit, and he's trying to create like original content, but there's only so much original content that he can create. Therefore, out of the three subsections of his website, one is live sessions with Martin, where you can actually sign in, and that is the paying bit of it. The other two are free. Like, if you want sessions with Martin, then on the third part of his workshop, of his website, and that's the retaining bit. How is he retaining customers? He's making them pay for live sessions where there's a actual person to person interaction, and therefore they keep coming back. But the
Sorry,
first two,
Nikita, in the last 2 minutes, my internet was not good, so the audio and video blocked and I had problems. Can you please repeat?
sure, I was giving the example of Martin's website, right? And I was talking about how in Martin's website, he is on the third part of his website is the part that is with retaining, because they're live sessions. But the first two are free resources. The first one is videos that he's basically looked up online, videos and articles about health, eating right, also like open resources. So you can look at TED Talks and you can download TED Talks or just link it to the TED website directly. There's no sort of copyright issues if you directly link it to the website. So the first one is just an open resource of good practices for healthy living. And the second one is a consultation. So like, if you're having a particular problem, then you can put that problem up there and some health consultant will answer it there. Both of these are free resources, right? So people will come back just to use that free resource. But last week we thought about our competitors. So think about, what are your competitors doing differently, and take inspiration from that. So even if it's just a service that is an open resource, why are people coming back to it? Like, I'll give you a good example. Torrents is a lovely example. Why do people keep going back to Torrent or any open library? Gutenberg, God, I do not know how to pronounce this. Gutenberg, I think. It's the German library, which has extensive papers. Why do people keep going back to it? And so just like take inspiration from things that already exist and make your prototype more interesting. Cool. Is that good? I'm now going to send you out to your.
So the fifth page will be the page of start where I put open resources, articles, and videos. Then on the second page there will be a way to sign up. on the third page there will be the problem and the idea, on how to solve it. Then on the fourth page there will be the feature that
Okay, guys. If it helps, I'm just going to put it in Discord. Does that make sense? I'm just going to put all yours because I can put it up on Zoom here, but I feel like if I put it up on Zoom, once the Zoom session gets over, you guys will lose what the 6 things are. So right now, I just put up your prototyping tools, the sort of, the PPT that we went through. I've put that up on Discord. I'm also going to put up the 6 panels so that it helps you to make. Based on who wants to make a website and who wants to make an app, there is something that I want to put here as well. All right. Sorry. Right. So in your chat here, I've given you details to the Marvel app, right? And what I would like you to do is in the next 20 minutes, whatever you're drawing out on the page, open up Marvel app because this is the customer journey. And for no matter what you make, the customer journey is going to be the same. So you're going to make 6 panels and I'm going to put the definition or the importance or exactly what each panel is on Discord. Draw those 6 panels out and then download this app from App Store and put it up in that app so that your first prototype is ready. Is that clear?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, I'm opening out your breakout rooms for you to go to. Wait, how did we have 14 people? There are too many people who joined us. Oh, hi, Chandula and Sheen. Did not see you there. Welcome. If you're in doubt, just ask people in your breakout room, or you can even ask me once we get back. Cool. All right, your rooms are open now.
Nikita, you there? You
Yes,
muted.
I'm here.
Ah,
What's
there we
up?
go. Should I just make a website for the time being, or
Yeah, I think so. And then we
Okay.
should, so you and I need to sit with the plan for how we can get the testing of this thing done. But I think that's after you talk to the food scientist. Let's first do the conversation with food scientists, figure out what's the best way. For right now, just make the customer journey. Because if you sell it, then I'm hoping that you want to also sell online, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So let's just look at that.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nikita, I'm not going into the breakout room because of my dead computer, so I'm just sitting here and making the drawing.
Cool. If you need any help, just ask me.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. If you don't volunteer, I'm just going to take your name.
Nikita,
Yeah.
I had a problem. So okay, in the app, Marvel app, there is Canvas. Wait, there is Canvas, camera, and import. Canvas, I failed to do because I don't know how to do that. It was going bad. And so there were an import that is taking the photo and camera. So I don't know how to um, create it as an image. So I was trying to do the website, but so I require more time. Unless if someone can explain me how to use
Okay.
the last one.
I can help you with that. Have you made the 5 panels? Are those done?
Do you mean on the paper or on the phone?
Like you can also just sketch it with hand, but if you've made it, let's say on Canva, or if you've written it out on, I don't know, PowerPoint or Word, Excel, whatever, if you have the 5 panels, if you've sketched it, then you can just go to Marvel app, go to camera, take a photograph of it, and then upload it. And then you use that feature called hotspot and link it to the next one.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
will use the PowerPoint.
All right, cool. Felix, I know you've done it, so I'm just going to ask you to share screen and show everybody the prototype of your website.
Okay. It's not fully completed, but this will be done pretty quick. So here you've got the front page of the website. Whenever you log in or whatever, paste the link. You'll get things you see above. Video will pop up. It'll be like a short kind of. I'm not sure if you guys have seen like the Greenpeace videos or the Seaspiracy documentary, something similar to that. Not really an informative video, but something to get their attention. Then you scroll down, you get to the shots of the product. Am I still Zoom okay? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Everything
I
just
hear you,
disappeared.
see it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. You get the shots of the product with short descriptions, some things that could attract the user to the product. Next slide, you come to the product range, listing from cheapest to most expensive. Obviously, they read left to right, so they'll be enticed to choose the first option. Then reviews, and then at the bottom, I'm going to have social media links, which I need to add.
Great.
That's about it.
All right, perfect. So this is what your 4, 5, 6 panels should look like, right? So I just want you to have a basic idea or a basic sense of what the prototype is going to look like. And remember that you have time till Tuesday to actually make the prototype and submit. Okay. I'm going to remind you guys on Discord as well. But that's basically the contest for this week, your prototypes. And once you get past the stage is really like till now we've been doing a lot of brain work, a lot of ideation, theory, thinking. Now is the time to just take that leap of faith and do it, like make it. So that in the next 2 weeks, we can host live sessions, call people, send them this link and tell them, hey, try using this. Tell me if it works. If it doesn't work, what can I make better? And then once we have that feedback, we'll redo the prototype and then we'll walk into the expo. All right, guys, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any doubts regarding prototype, I know we don't have calls next week, but I will be available on Discord from like, let's say 10 to 11 in the morning and 10 to 11 at night, India time, 2 hours a day. So if you have anything, just ping me and we can sort it out. Cool. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was useful. It's starting to get really real, and I'm getting really excited about each of our ideas and how we will, within a month's time, showcase it to the rest of the world. All right, cool guys. Adios, bye bye, and take care. And
Ciao.
Tuesday is the
you.
deadline. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Nikita. Bye.
Bye.
Nikita,